Hey there, fellow travelers. I'm Nancy, and welcome back to the new Travel Escapes channel. Today, we're diving into a resort that used to be a bit of an unknown, but ever since Netflix filmed the second season of Love is Blind, it has become very popular. The resort is TRS Coral in Playa Mujeres, Mexico, just north of Cancun. Strap in because we're going beyond the brochures to tell you what our stay was like at this resort, give you our thoughts, and some inside tips to uncover what this adults-only all-inclusive has to offer. Before we kick things off, let's set the scene. TRS Coral is part of the Grand Palladium Resort, known for its massive scale. We vacationed at Grand Palladium pre-COVID. However, for this return trip, we stayed on the TRS side. In this video, we're focusing solely on the TRS side, an adults-only resort of its own within this large resort complex. TRS calls their all-inclusive the Infinite Indulgence. Unlike other places where the adults-only section can sometimes feel like a mere corner of the resort, TRS Coral boasts its own personality with 5 restaurants and several bars dedicated exclusively to its guests. If you don't want to encounter children or families on your vacation, you need not leave the TRS side to have a lovely holiday. Although the resort village is really nice, but I'll get into that more in a few minutes. TRS Coral is located about 31 kilometers or 20 miles north of the Cancun airport, and it will take between 40 and 60 minutes depending on traffic to get there. If you want to take part in the activities and nightlife of the Cancun hotel zone, you are a short cab ride away. TRS is rated 4.5 out of 5 on TripAdvisor and 8.8 out of 10 on Expedia. We booked our trip through Expedia, and we are Expedia Gold members. Usually Expedia Gold members get a perk or two as a partnership with the hotel. And in our experience, they almost always do something, such as a special breakfast, a bottle of wine in the room, a room upgrade if available, more often than not, of course they're not available, and so on and so on. We never count on them, but more often than not, there's something. Although it says TRS is a VIP access hotel, they clearly told us at check-in that they never give any Expedia perks. So if you're going to book through Expedia, this is just a heads up to you. TRS Coral is a small to medium-sized resort. You can easily walk around the resort, or you can request golf carts to move you around, but I wouldn't say it is so big that golf carts are necessary. They're just a nice little convenience. All guests at TRS are assigned a butler when they check in. It sounds fancy, right? But don't expect them to fan you with palm leaves, adjust your beach towel, or reserve your favorite pool chair for you. Their role is more like a concierge, helping you with dining and spa reservations, sending you the daily activities schedule, and answering any questions or concerns that you may have. Our butlers were very friendly and happy to help with anything that came up, and they were available all day long via WhatsApp. But it's not the same situation that you may be used to with other resort butler services such as Sandals. Think more luxury concierge and your expectations will align. Speaking of dinner reservations, the restaurants on the TRS side of the resort are La Boheme, Tentazione, El Gaucho, Capriccio, and Helios Beach Club. There is also 24-hour room service. Dining reservations are required, and your butler will make those for you. The restaurants have dress codes, but they are fairly casual, and at the time of this video, men are allowed to wear dress shorts and collared shirts. Basically, nice golf attire, and you're good. I suggest making all of your dinner reservations when you arrive, and then asking your butler to modify them as needed, rather than trying to make them daily. If you want to go into the village to check out those restaurants, and you absolutely can because they're included in your rate as well, when we were there, reservations for TRS guests for restaurants in the village felt a bit wonky. We could only make reservation times for right when the restaurant opened or at 10 p.m. for their last seating. Our butlers explained that this is because the Palladium guests get first dibs on the dinner times, and TRS guests can book less popular seating times. So we made a dinner reservation for the only available time, which was at 10 p.m. at the Indian restaurant in the village. We showed up at 9:30 to see if we could get in early, and they seated us right away. It's kind of a weird system, but it makes sense and it's not too difficult to work around it. If you're going into the village to eat, I suggest making a reservation for the late seating, and then going earlier to see if they happen to have a table available. If you already have a reservation, they may be okay with seating you early if the restaurant is not too busy. If it doesn't work and they are busy, go to one of the many bars in the village and grab a cocktail or two while you wait. There's also a great coffee shop with snacks just in case there's a threat of you getting hangry. Overall, the food was good. It was not consistently great, but most of it was good. Some dishes are a hit and some are a miss, not new, and we spoke to several other guests who had the same opinion. You may remember from our other resort videos that there's a vegetarian on the new Travel Escapes team, and here's the kicker. Vegetarian options might leave you a tad unsatisfied at TRS. This is just a heads up for my plant-based friends. You might need to be a bit more creative with your orders here, as vegetarian cuisine seems to be an afterthought. If you are used to excellence properties where most restaurants have a separate vegetarian menu, know that this is not the case at TRS. Even when the butlers knew when making our reservations for dinner that one of us follows a vegetarian diet, it did not seem to get communicated to the maitre d' or the chef. I'll put the menus up for the restaurants so you can have a look for yourself. La Bohème is French cuisine. It was good, but I found the menu just a little bit limited. The ambiance of this resort is just beautiful, and the French blue and white china really sets the theme. I loved it. El Gaucho is Argentinian barbecue. As you can see from the menu here, it focuses on steaks, and it is definitely for carnivores. You can choose your favorite sides to accompany your steak. Now, if you are a vegetarian, the menu offers you a salad and some of the sides, but to be fair, the vegetarian on our team said that they were really tasty. Tentazione is Italian cuisine, and this was a favorite of the group, even me. And yes, I know you thought I would say La Bohème was my favorite, but it turns out that Tentazione was better. The beef carpaccio and the burrata were well made and really tasty. Capriccio is their buffet restaurant open for breakfast and lunch. They call the buffet area tasting tables, and this makes sense when you see that the menu is kind of a mashup between a buffet and an a la carte. You pick your appetizers and salads from the tasting tables, and then you order your main dishes a la carte. It's a blend of buffet and a la carte, reducing waste, and in my humble opinion, it elevated the dining experience. Helios Beach Club has a bit of everything. I will pop up the menu here, and you can pause whenever you need to read something more clearly. This was my favorite place to grab lunch, if I wasn't having it brought to my chair on the beach, that is. Helios is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A quick note, on the TRS website, it says that lobster is included, but when we were there, we were told it is an extra charge item. There seemed to be some confusion about it, and I don't know why. It's just a heads up. Maybe they'll have sorted it out when you were there. Let's talk about bars, because they're really the unsung heroes of any resort. At TRS Coral, they have got their A game on. Premium alcohol, even at the swim-up bar? Check. Whether you're at the pool bar, savoring sunset hues at the gravity bar, or sharing stories at the lobby bar, the libations are consistently impressive. We were happy with the drinks throughout TRS, and the quality was there more often than not. Unless you book a swim out room, there is one main pool, and it's very busy most of the time. Not every set of chairs around the pool has an umbrella. Most of them do, but not all of them, so get up early if you want some shade. The main pool is active with games and events, and the music is bumping all day long. Pool servers are busy, and when you're hanging out at the main pool, you can see that this resort is a great fit for groups who want to travel together. As I mentioned earlier, it has become very popular for destination weddings after they filmed season 2 of Love is Blind here. The beach here is gorgeous. There are plenty of lounge chairs and bally beds on the beach with umbrellas for shade. There's no need to get up at the crack of dawn for a seat at the beach. The service on the beach was pretty good during our stay, hit or miss some days, but basically every 20 or 30 chairs has a dedicated server, so it never took too long to get a drink when we wanted one. The servers will even bring lunch out to your chair if you don't feel like going back to the restaurants. There is a bit less seaweed in Costa Mujeres because Isla Mujeres blocks some of it from getting to shore. Sargassum has been bad for the last few years, and it is everywhere in the Mayan Riviera. It does fluctuate each day depending on winds and currents and probably more factors than I understand. The water is also more calm here than in the Cancun hotel zone, again, because Isla Mujeres slows things down. There is a long boardwalk to get from the pool area to the beach. And if you have ever watched our Valentine Imperial Riviera Maya video, you know what I'm going to say now. It is very hot, so make sure you have some type of foot covering. If you wander down barefoot in the morning, by the time you're heading to lunch, that walkway is a scorcher. I'm just warning you. Many resort activities that you would expect are on the Grand Palladium side, such as the gym and spa, but there's always something going on at the main TRS pool. The Rafa Nadal Tennis Center is a must if you are a tennis aficionado. The village or town plaza that I mentioned earlier is a shared area for all TRS and Grand Palladium guests. So of course, there are children and families also enjoying the village. The village has a chapel, lots of restaurants, bars, and a coffee shop, and they're all included with your all-inclusive package. There's also places to shop, not included of course, the theater with nightly shows. Shows are the typical normal resort shows you would expect, and there is chic cabaret. In addition to the golf carts, they have a really cool boat system like a water taxi that runs along the canals surrounding the resort complex. Definitely give the boats a try to go and visit the village. I mentioned the chic cabaret dinner show. It is an extra charge event, and at the time of this video, it is $45 per person, USD. If you've watched our videos, you know that I rarely recommend paying for any of these extra charge events. However, I did think that this one was worth the money. That is just my opinion, of course. Just a side note, if you're staying at the Grand Palladium side with children, I would be cautious about bringing children to the cabaret as it leans more to being an adult experience. Again, just my opinion. Do with that what you will. If you decide to go to the cabaret, then know that men are required to wear pants and not shorts for this event. TRS means the Royal Suites, and the rooms at this resort are gorgeous. There are several room categories to choose from, but all of them include a fully stocked minibar with some snacks and drinks. Your butler will let you choose a bottle of liquor for your room from his menu. The suites all have very comfortable separate seating areas, balconies or terraces that are nicely equipped with more than just the standard 2 chairs and a table. Garden view rooms face inward overlooking the pool and the walkways, ocean view rooms face the other side, and if you lean out and to the left, you can see some of the ocean, or to the right depending on which building you're in. The closer to the beach, the better the views, and your resort wristband is also your room key, which I love. I don't enjoy rooting around at the bottom of my beach bag to find where my room key has disappeared to. That can't just be me, right? There are 469 suites at TRS. You can choose between a junior suite garden view, ocean view, or beachside and beachside ocean view. There are also swim out rooms. They don't swim out onto the main pool, but rather smaller pools that run along the side of the buildings. The interiors of all of these rooms are similar. It is just the location and the terrace or balconies that differ. There are also 2-story loft suites that are a really nice option if you want more space and a second bathroom. There are ambassador suites and signature suites that are available if you book through the resort. TRS rooms are gorgeous, and some suites are lateral in pricing. It just depends on what details you prefer. If I include it all here in this video, it's just going to be too long, so we will make a separate video going into all of the room options and details that are available at TRS, so hit your notification bell if you want to know when that one comes out. Overall, we really enjoyed our stay at TRS Coral. It was a step up in luxury from our stay at the Grand Palladium a few years ago, but for the price difference, it should be. The food was good, although as I mentioned earlier, our resident vegetarian was challenged by the menus. The pool is great for groups of adult friends, and it always feels like a bit of a party. The service was hit or miss, but nothing that we were too put off by. The service industry has suffered after COVID, and hit or miss service seems to be happening at all of the resorts that we have been to post-COVID, as well as in our home country. Overall, our butlers were fantastic, and they communicate with you via WhatsApp, so you can always make requests or ask anything without having to go and find them. The beach is very nice, and because Isla Mujeres is offshore, it tends to get a little bit less seaweed and a little bit smaller waves in the resorts south of Cancun. TRS Coral is not too large, with under 500 rooms, and it's easy to navigate, as you could see from the resort maps I put up. If you're staying a week, you certainly don't need to go into the village if you don't want to, but it is a good time over there, so I suggest grabbing a boat and checking it out for an evening. The sports bar in the village is open 24 hours. Thank you so much for watching our videos. With all of the AI-generated videos out there made by people who have not even been to the resorts that they are reviewing, we really appreciate that you chose to watch ours. We stay at all of these resorts, we pay for our own trips, and the resorts never know that we make videos to share with you about our experiences. We try to give you an honest and authentic review and share some tips that we think might be helpful to know. If this type of content is valuable to you, please consider subscribing to our channel and hit the like button to help others find this video on YouTube. We really appreciate your support. Until next time, fellow wanderers, keep exploring your resort options, keep making memories, and we'll see you next week. Bye!